Culinary Podcast on Portland Culinary Radio. I'm Steven Shomler, your host. So excited about today's episode. We're talking about Chef Cycle, their 2019 Portland team. We're going to find out all about Chef Cycle and what they are. I have three amazing chefs in front of me, which is just incredible. Chris DiMinno, did I get that right?
That's right.
Oh, yes. Okay, good. Didn't want to screw that up. You are the chef at Trifecta.
Yep.
And Rick Gencarelli, the man, the myth, and the legend.
Yes, sir.
He was Portland Culinary Podcast Episode 1 for a reason. His food changed my life, and I'm forever will be grateful. And then Jonathan Rendon, who is the chef de cuisine at Departure, which is kind of a badass restaurant in and of itself. Oh, Rick, no offense. People that don't know, they're idiots if they don't know, but you are founder of the Lardo Empire and Grassa. And I know it's not just you. You have an amazing team behind you. I know a lot of those people. They're wonderful. I know that's important for you that I say.
Absolutely.
And they are really great. So.
Yes.
All right. So, Chris, what is Chef Cycle?
So Chef Cycle is an event that's been going on for the last 6 or so years. It started on the East Coast with 6 chefs who wanted to get some attention. And the charity behind Chef Cycle is No Kid Hungry, which is part of Share Our Strength. And what we are striving to do is end childhood hunger as best we can. Rick said it earlier, 1 in 6 children in this country, goes to school hungry every day. And it's such an easy, solvable problem. So these 6 guys rode their bikes from New York City to Washington, D.C., and they got some attention. And one thing led to another, and now this is year 6 of the event.
And so Chef Cycle happens now in Santa Rosa.
Yep.
And you guys ride 100 miles a day for 3 days.
Yes.
And then it's chefs riding cycles, but it's not just chefs. It's people in lots of facets of the food and beverage business, right?
Right.
But primarily chefs.
It's a lot of chefs. It's a lot of hospitality people, hotels, but then everyone from winemakers, beer makers, purveyors. It's all over the map.
Okay, and then then each person is under obligation to raise a huge amount of money in my head.
Yeah, we're trying to get $7,500 a piece.
A piece.
Right now, our Portland team, Sack Lunch, there's 18 of us. We ideally want to raise $60,000, $70,000. So.
And how many was on the team last year, roughly?
I think we had 12 last year.
Yeah.
So it's been growing kind of steadily.
Yeah.
And how many years have you done this?
This will be my 4th.
4th year, and you were part of the first wave. There wasn't people Portland before you did it 4 years ago.
There was, I think, 3 of us year 1. But then after that, slowly but surely, I started to just get my friends involved, and because I wanted to just share my pain, and one thing led to another, and now where there's 18 of us, it's great.
Okay, so we're going to talk about how each person's going to raise $7,500 because that sounds, oh my gosh, we got to help Jonathan make this happen. But
I just started like 3 days ago.
But what led you to say yes? You wanted to ride a bike 100 miles a day for 3 days 4 years ago. Why did you do this thing?
It makes a lot of sense. I really like combining my 2 passions of cycling and food, and this just checks all the boxes. It's for a great cause. It's a really great event to be a part of. 100 miles a day is a lot, but it's totally doable, and it's for the right reasons.
Okay, and it's not just 100, because I've ridden 20 to 25 miles in a day around, the Twin Cities in Minnesota.
Sure.
Flat. And if I imagine that, maybe I could do 100 miles once and not die. But then you said there's elevation each day.
Yeah, every day we're doing between 4,500 and 8,000 feet of climbing.
You guys are nuts.
Yeah. But, most chefs are. So we're just keeping up with the Joneses.
I got you there. Okay, so what was the first year like for you? Your first year?
It was a little bit scary, and back then it wasn't it wasn't from Santa Rosa. We started in Monterey and we finished in Santa Barbara, so it was 300 miles south, and it was a much different course for sure, and it was challenging. There were days where you're just looking at this road, and this road is kind of like going up a little bit, and there's wind coming at you, and there was just road as far as the eye can see, and you're not getting off that road for a long time. And it can be a little bit disheartening for sure. But at the end of the day, it is the greatest feeling in the world that you did it.
So what made you go back your second year?
I wanted to see if I could outdo myself, both in the fundraising and in the fitness. And it's just, once again, the charity element of it is a great thing.
Okay, so Rick, I'm not aware. I know your story kind of maniacally, maybe stalk you a little, but is biking's not part of your history, is it? Were you ever a cyclist?
When I moved to Vermont from Manhattan years ago, and I moved next to a guy who was an avid cyclist, and he kind of introduced me to the sport on a different level. And
So you'd ride a little bike around the farm or something?
yeah, yeah. He took me. Yeah, he got me into it pretty hardcore, and I loved it. I loved being out on the road for hours. You know, it was just kind of very therapeutic and healthy. I got in shape, and I found that everything was just kind of better after a bike ride or during a bike ride. So then moved here, and then hadn't ridden a bike for years, and then I met Chris DiMinno. We became friends, and he got me back into it. Got me sort of, kind of addicted, So then I think the first year he did it, I was riding with him, and he was telling me about it. I didn't go, but it sounded crazy. And I thought to myself, well, if he does it again next year, I'll definitely tag along for the training and the event. So. And
then he did it again, and did you?
Yeah, I went. I did it.
And what was that your first year like for you?
It was a blast. Yeah, it's so much fun. 200 cyclists that are all in the industry. You're making friends as you go. Ironically, there's plenty of miles where you're by yourself too. I found myself sort of on stretches where there wasn't anyone in front of me or behind me, and then all of a sudden you get to another rest stop. You regroup with some people. You make new friends, and you sort of. There aren't a lot of times in these days where you shut your phone off and you spend 8 hours just connecting with other people, connecting with your surroundings, and really thinking about other things. The phones are important, but it's also important to just forget about everything and reconnect.
You're also connecting with yourself, I bet.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of times where you're really digging deep. I mean, you're mile 80 and you've got 20 more to go. Your legs are tired. Your whole body is fried. You got some serious climbs coming up, but you get through it. There's a lot of adrenaline. There's a lot of fun. There's also this thought that, through the pain and through the long miles, you actually are genuinely helping people that need it. And I think that has a lot to do with helping you get through it, for sure.
So how did you feel after your first year, your training and everything?
I felt great.
So you trained enough?
Year one, I trained enough, yeah. Yeah, and I made sure that, I had sort of certain landmarks. I wanted to get 100 miles in me. I've done centuries before. I've never done 3 in a row.
And a century's riding, for those who know, 100 miles at one time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've done my share of those. I just never did it. I never woke up and did another one and then woke up and did another one. So I had no idea what to expect. And, yeah.
So what made you go back a second year?
I just enjoyed it so much.
And how did training for your second year go?
Yeah, I didn't. I mailed it in. I'm going to be honest. It wasn't enough miles. It wasn't enough training. It wasn't enough anything. And as a result, May, the event in May was really hard.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we're about to talk to Jonathan Rendon.
Yeah,
He's never done this before. What advice do you have for him as he's training for his first chef cycle?
Essentially just learn from my mistakes and my victories. So train, get out there, and but mostly just get ready for some fun. It's really awesome.
What'd you say? Put on the miles though every day. Does that matter? Just riding miles every day?
Yeah, there are no bad miles. It's like as much time you can spend in the saddle, the better you're going to do for the event. That's a no-brainer. Yeah.
Okay, Jonathan. Now, did you grow up riding a bike?
I grew up riding a bike. I was gifted a little BMX that I rode as a kid, 8 years old, and I really fell in love, and I really enjoyed it. And then I lost touch with it, and work happened, kids happened, And then one thing led to another that I totally just forgot. And then all of a sudden, my brother, about 10 years ago, gave me this rusty old aluminum bike frame that I built from the ground up, and I'm actually still riding it today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and you spent some time in Colorado, and
Yep.
you rode a bike there, right?
Yep. That was our main source of transportation and how we got around. We did all our Christmas shopping. We grabbed our Christmas tree with it.
Would you have like a little house you towed behind the bike or something?
I did a lot of moves with that trailer too.
So you had a
which was
trailer
fun.
behind the bike?
I did. Rain, snow, hail, you name it. I did it on a bike.
Okay, and how long you been at Departure?
I've been at Departure coming up on my 4th year.
4th year?
Yep.
All right, and Portland's home?
Portland is home. Yeah.
Okay, so how did you hear about Chef Cycle?
Chef Matt from Urban Farmer came up during service, like out of nowhere, like, "Hey, do you want to join Chef Cycle?" I have never heard about it before, and I did a little homework, and it was something that I've really it touched home, and something that you can be doing on a regular basis already, but actually contribute to something amazing to raise awareness and feed the need that is there.
All right, so how does the idea of riding 100 miles a day, and then doing it again, and doing it again, does that scare you? Are you excited for
No,
that?
I'm not actually scared, actually. Back in September, what was it? September 1st, I embarked on my very first long bike ride. I biked to the coast from Portland, did it all self-supported, did some camping in between, and did it in 2 days, and I ended up at Cape Disappointment, where I finished my ride. So I've got some miles in me. I just need to be more consistent with the miles, and I commute in and from work on bike. So
Because you're going to have
I
Rick
feel
year 1
comfortable.
or Rick year 2.
don't underestimate the underdog. We are very competitive, and I've been doing yoga challenges every single day. So doing that strength challenging.
So you're excited. You're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I'm very, very, very excited.
Okay, so about how do you guys raising this money, Chris? How's this $1,700 a person? So you have this, my opinion, a brilliant idea of just everybody as a team together. You're
Yes.
going to do events and support the events so that to help everybody kind of hit their number.
Exactly. Year one being on my own fundraising, you're really grasping at straws. It's, you're asking your parents, you're asking your friends, you're writing emails. And it does get a little challenging because, I ended up making the money year one, but then year two, it's like you can't keep asking your dad for money or your friends for money because they're like, no, I gave you money for this last year.
Yep.
We work as a team. Our team name is Sack Lunch, and we are doing a lot of events together. We have a couple of different ideas for a couple of parties that are happening in March, a couple of dinners that are happening in April. We have a bunch of raffle items that are going to be coming up soon that are going to be really nice that I'm pretty psyched on. Oh yeah, we're doing a Portland Dine Around where different restaurants are going to participate, and a certain percentage of sales is going to go toward Chef Cycle. So there's a lot of stuff going on. We're pretty excited about it.
And then you've got a Facebook page that I'll put a link to that has all of and the events. Are they open to the public?
They are. All of them are open to the
So
public.
people can buy tickets.
Yep.
Go eat. I speculate there might be good food at these events.
There'll be some decent food. We do a real medium job, but
I do. I think it's going to be pretty amazing. And then they can bring their checkbooks.
yes,
To write checks, or I'm sure you can take their debit cards.
exactly.
You're ready with your square,
Yep.
and you can take their money right then.
We sure are.
So they need to come prepared to give.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
And how have people responded to the idea of it being kind of a group event? The fundraising component. The other writers.
Oh, great. In fact, I went to sort of a Chef Cycle Summit in Los Angeles last October, and I did sort of a little presentation on having a team and how much that group effort helps the end goal. It's great for a lot of reasons. From a training point of view, we're all motivating each other. We're all talking shit to each other. But it's a ton of fun. And then as far as fundraising goes, you have so much more reach with 17 other people behind you, as opposed to just you, trying your best. So, I'll never go back.
Yeah, and because people think of chefs, as everybody knows who they are, et cetera, and they all make lots of money, but Most chefs are like brewers.
Yeah.
I love brewers, and most people don't necessarily know who they are, and they don't make a lot of money. There's a very small percentage that
do it for the craft.
That are world famous like Rick is.
Right.
All these followers on Instagram, it's incredible.
Right.
And so being able to come together as a team and kind of leverage the reach of everybody, I'm sure that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, really, the whole reason I asked Rick on year 2 was to use his Instagram followers just to get more money. So
Exactly.
How'd that work out?
So tell me about the team name. I'm curious about this.
It's something we came up with a couple years ago. I guess it was 2 years ago now. We just wanted a little bit of a different identity. Chef Cycle is Chef Cycle, and we, as proud Portlanders, wanted to sort of do our own thing, as Portland people do.
Yep.
So we went through a lot of names. A lot of them were inappropriate.
From chefs? No, I'm shocked.
Yeah, I know. And we finally settled on that. It was actually a suggestion from a friend of mine in California, and he actually drew our logo as well. And ever since then, we've been Sack Lunch.
I like it. Sack Lunch. So what's that say to you when you say Sack Lunch? What's it represent to you?
A good cause. Whenever I say it or hear it, I automatically think I haven't been riding enough. We're all working together to do something really good.
Nice. Okay, so for the bicycle geeks listening to the podcast, what bike are you going to ride in Santa Rosa?
Oh, how do you pick your kids? I have a custom Argonaut that I've had for 3 years now that I actually, 2 years now, that I actually had built for the event last year. Argonaut's a great brand. They're in Bend, Oregon. They actually also gave us a bike to raffle off last year, which ended up making $18,000.
Wow.
Which was a great thing. So we're trying to work on something like that again this year. And it's pretty rad. It's a really well-rounded, awesome machine, so I'll be taking that with me this year. Probably.
And before I forget, this year you've got your sponsors can be on the actual jersey, right?
Yes, we are selling spots on the jersey for $500 a piece right now. So
this year, it's got to go up for next year. I'm telling you,
we're going to see how well this works out this year.
Oh, it's going to work out great. I'm every conviction. But if this year, next year, people listen to these podcasts a year or two later, if someone hears this, like, I want to give them that $2,000 to get my name on the jersey.
Yeah.
Can they just reach out to you through the Facebook page?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be there, and we're going to keep doing this year after year. So
No, exactly. That's why I'm thinking. Someone hears this 2 years from now, and because people listen to festival stuff I did 3 years ago, they listen to it now. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so if you're listening to this and it's 2021, it's still happening, and yes, they want your money to help feed hungry kids, right?
Exactly.
Okay, Rick, what bike are you riding this year?
Oh, I am going to be on a.
This is a good question.
Or do you know yet?
When I met Chris, I had a bike. I had a 20-year-old Le Mans Zurich that I loved. And then since then, now I have him to thank for my bicycle problem. But my road bike is a Cielo bike made here in Portland by Chris King. They stopped making them 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky to have one of the last Cielo. Yeah, American Steel. I love it. Yeah, and that's going to be my choice for Chef Cycle 2019.
All right. And Jonathan, what bike are you going to ride?
I was thinking about taking my trusty Volano commuter that I built from the ground up. But I was very fortunate to find a very amazing deal I couldn't pass down on a BMC Road Machine ALR.
BMC Road Machine ALR?
Yeah. It's a
turbo.
It's a lot of machine
with a 2-watt booster.
I'm thinking of like retired people out with a lot of money, and so I'm like, I gotta keep up at least with some proper bearings.
Is it an e-bike?
Yeah,
it has an e-bike.
It has an engine, right? You don't even have to pedal.
No. When you see the back of my wheel, you'll know.
From the rookie.
No, I'm gonna keep calm and be very patient with myself. We're gonna be doing this a lot.
Okay, and the event happens in May, right? Every year.
Yes.
Yeah, May every year. Okay, so one more pitch, Chris. Why should people go to the website? I'll put the website up. Give money.
It's a great cause. We are. It's such an easy problem to fix. Is childhood hunger. The amount of restaurants and the amount of foodies in Portland. A lot of people here are incredibly fortunate. We want to be able to help those who are not as fortunate as all of us in the food service industry. And it's every little bit helps. $1 does so much. $1 can feed 10 kids a day, and it's like I said, such an easy problem to fix, and we just want to be able to do everything we can.
So it's a 3-day event, but the first day you show up, and you show up, and the next day is your first ride. That night, they give you an event where you get to hear people that have actually been benefited from the previous year's fundraising?
Yes, and it's a very almost emotional event because they'll bring in the principal and a couple of teachers and a couple of students from some of these schools that the money actually goes to, and they'll all speak or put on a video that shows just how much things have been affected. And, it's sort of a no-brainer idea, like kids that eat breakfast do better in school, and right now, I'm trying to put as much faith in school as possible, considering the state of this country right now. So the children are our future. Let's do everything we can.
I like it.
Yeah, Steve, I have 2 boys that I send off to school every morning. And the part that resonates for me is that, it's so important for me to make sure that they have breakfast before they go to school. The idea that so many don't, just really kind of...
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's heart-wrenching, and it's just something that really kind of stuck with me as I think about how it equates to my own life,
Jonathan, I don't want to go from preaching to meddling, but my gut tells me there was days that you went to school hungry.
Yes. Growing up with a single mother raising 4 children in Orange County was very challenging for sure, and I would do anything by all means to survive. And it was a decent neighborhood, and it was community that really brought everything together. And I've got a really soft spot in my heart, at least for.
You get it. You get it like a lot of people that haven't struggled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So I was very fortunate to get out of it, and the struggle never ends.
Yep.
But it's how you see it, and you actually you don't react. You do something about it. So before it was necessity. Now it's I'm giving back. I'm doing it because I love it.
Well, there's 4 things I teach people to live the good life, and one of them is make a difference. And so hats off to each of you for taking time to go out and make a difference in the lives of others. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing. I'll do all I can to champion your Chef Cycle 2019 event. And what's the number? 67? How much are you trying to raise?
We're trying to raise between $60,000 and $70,000 this year. More is always better.
Yep. So you're okay if 75 comes in?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay. So because we do have a few big, fitness athletic brands around this neck of the woods.
Sure.
Have any of them written big checks in the past?
No, but I would love their money.
I don't know why they wouldn't. They're in this neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why either.
And then you could get like all cool outfits from one of those entities. That would be awesome.
Oh, sure.
Branded outfits. I'm all about the outfits. I love outfits. So, all right. Well, if you are with one of those entities and you hear this, man, just go to the Facebook page. Tell us the name of the page again.
Sack Lunch PDX on Facebook.
Okay. And just get a hold of Chris, and he will be happy to take your money and make sure the outfits look cool. That's all I ask. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the Portland Culinary Podcast. Have a great ride. Cheers.
Thank you.